Thalia Amador of the SBA. Thank you for being here today, Thalia.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm excited to be here once again, joining the small businesses and the SBDC.
That's great. Yeah. And so last time you talked a little bit about the PPP program, and this time we're going to focus on the emergency injury disaster loan, otherwise known as the EIDL. So I thought maybe you could just talk about a little bit about what the EIDL is.
Yes. So the economic injury disaster loan, it is a disaster program. It does come from the disaster assistance program of the SBA, and it's meant for that. It's meant to, when disaster hits, normally the disasters that we experience, from one year to another are usually like hurricanes and tornadoes, floods. Those are the normal times when this program has been utilized. This is the first time in history that we've utilized program first at a nationwide level, and for a virus. But nonetheless, that is an existing program that is meant to assist your business through the recovery phase of those disasters, or when those disasters, happen. And of course, the EIDL has been an existing program. It is processed and managed directly by the SBA, as opposed to the PPP that is, through banks. For the EIDL program, you would be applying, and all the processes handled directly through the SBA. So in order to apply, of course, you would apply directly from our website. And again, our website is sba.gov. Now, what some of the changes or some of the differences that we've noticed from prior disasters is the CARES Act actually allowed this program to open up to other business types that didn't have access to it in the past, which are, your nonprofits and agricultural businesses. In the past, they were not, this type of program was available for them, and because of the CARES Act, this is now also a program that's available to those, expanded to other types of businesses.
Oh, great.
So,
so definitely
some good, great news in there. It is a loan. It is a long-term loan, up to 30 years in the maturity. It is a 3.75 interest rate loan for small businesses, for profits, and a 2.75 interest rate for nonprofits. As opposed to the PPP, this is a straight loan. There is no forgiveness. Whatever you get of this program must be paid back. There is no discounts, there's no anything. It is a loan that has to be paid back. Again, the difference is going to be a very long term. You have up to 30 years, making it really affordable to pay back the loan. And one of the great things about this loan also is that it comes automatically with a 1-year deferment plan. So from the time you get your loan up to 12 months later is when you start making the first payment towards the loan.
Oh, okay.
So it allows that extra time for you to actually use the funds, have your business recover before you can start making those payment backs.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so it helps businesses out with their monthly payments. Don't have to have those for 12 months. And then when they do come, they happen, they're for 30 years, so they're going to be smaller payments to help the business, sustain this.
That is correct. It's meant to, it's meant to help the cash flow of the business.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the EIDL loan is not one where they're going to go, a customer, a client, they're not going to go to their bank. They're going to go straight to the SBA's website and apply for this.
That is correct. The application is available on our website. It is an online application. The process is all handled through your email that you provide us. Only when they have to change some information, or when you make a mistake and they can't get a hold of you, they might have somebody reach out. But the process is all through your email. They send you an invitation to create a link for that portal. And through that portal is where you provide the documentation that the underwriter requires from you, as well as you e-sign also all of the terms of the loans. It's all done through that portal.
Oh, okay. So it's all electronic. Now, what's the process time? How long what's the average time it would take a business to go through this process to apply?
That's a little tricky. It depends on when you applied. There's people, unfortunately, that had waited a few weeks. Others have waited a couple months. But right now, the process has been streamlined a little bit better, and most applicants right now are applying, and within a 2-week period, they are seeing the money in their bank account.
Wow, that's fast.
So somewhere in there. Yeah, it's happening much faster.
Yeah, and probably the more prepared the business is with their documentation, the easier and faster it's going to be.
The faster.
Yeah, so a lot of it.
Absolutely. The majority of the loans that were either denied or closed out were because they did not have the proper documentation or never responded to the additional request of documentations that were asked. So that's where most of the loans that got held back are usually because of the incomplete application or a mistake that was never corrected.
Okay, great. Now, so what, a lot of questions I get from my clients before they would apply for this would be, what's the criteria? What's the chances I'm going to get approved for this? And what kind of things would the SBA be looking for to approve something like this?
Yes, so this is, like I said, is a loan. So they are going to look at they're looking at 3 criterias, and one of them is going to be credit. They are going to pull your credit. So, you want to ensure that you have good credit because they're going to look at collateral. If your loan is above $250,000, they are going to require collateral. Between 25,000 and that 250,000, it is not required, but they prefer some kind of collateral, such as business assets or other things. However, it's not a requirement, right? In that range, under $25,000, there is no requirement for collateral. But so you've got credit, you've got collateral, and they're going to look at the cash flow of your business. Right? Has your business been cash flow positive, right? The ability to pay back your loan. That's the other criteria they're going to be looking for. And based on the collective of those 3 things, they're going to come up with a determination of whether your business qualifies or not for this loan.
Okay, good. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the traditional stuff that a business would have to try to apply for a loan. I know it's maybe a little bit more lenient here, maybe than average, but still, I think it has to be pretty solid. Has to be a good, good risk for the SBA to take. So another question I get a lot of times is the EIDL Advance. So I get a lot of questions about, can I still get the EIDL Advance? Is that something that the EIDL still has, or has that phased out for now?
So the EIDL Advance portion, which was the grant that was issued per $1,000 per employee, that set of funds ran out last month. So even if you apply today, you're applying specifically for the loan. The advance has funds have been exhausted,
Mhm.
so there is no more advance unless Congress makes any more changes. As of right now, there are no more EIDL advance funds.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's a question I get a lot, and they're like, and I get a lot of other clients that say, well, what's going to happen with this new stimulus bill and stuff? And I know you probably say as we do, we really we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know until it's a law. So we just get to wait and see what happens then.
Okay. I'm guessing that, that there's been times in the past that both with the PPP and the EIDL that, funds ran out. So I think, would you encourage clients, businesses that are interested in applying to probably do it quickly, because potentially funds could run out. We just don't know.
Right, and I mean, we don't know what that's going to look like. The window is open to apply for this loan until December 31st, but like the PPP and the EIDL and the advanced program, funds could run out at any time. So we always encourage all small businesses that haven't applied to apply as soon as possible.
Good. Okay, that's great. Yeah, and this is one opportunity that's still out there that businesses should take advantage of if they haven't taken advantage of it. Now, as far as getting assistance to help, like, do the application process, the SBA, maybe not at the local office, but the SBA in Washington, they have customer service folks there. They kind of help out with that, as well as folks that have applied. They would call customer service at the main Washington office. Is that correct?
So for EIDL, yes, the EIDL questions or updates, information regarding to that is only the Disaster Assistance Center has access to those loans and processes. So any specific question about your loan, we wouldn't be able to assist you. I mean, we can ask or try, but we don't have direct access. You do want to contact your disaster assistance customer service number directly in order to obtain any specific information about your loans.
Okay, great. So I guess I have one more question about the EIDL. Again, I get some businesses, some clients that may be, again, hesitant to want to apply. They think they might get denied. You kind of mentioned the main three things that they would need to have to qualify. Are there any other things that could get them denied for the EIDL?
Mostly it's incomplete applications, and what we've seen so far are incomplete applications and a credit that is not acceptable has been the probably second common reason why they have not been or why they have been denied.
Okay. So if they fill out the application incorrectly, could get denied. Now, when they get denied, if it's filled out incorrectly, does it get kicked back to them to potentially fix it, or what's the I know the process has changed a lot, and the SBA is doing a great job making it easier and stuff and streamlining it, but you know what that process might be?
Right. And even if it's a credit issue, there's a reconsideration process. So you want to send an email would be easier because it's trackable, but you can also do it via phone or via snail mail. But you want to do a reconsideration, whether for your credit or because you made a mistake on the applications. Yes, you can do. We do not advise at all that you submit a second application. We've had people try to do that. Do not do that, because all you're doing is flagging for fraud. So do not reply. You want to do a reconsideration application, okay? And all it is in that denial letter, the instructions are there. And also you can always contact us at the Columbus office and we can provide you the instructions of what you should be putting in that reconsideration email, right? So you want to draft your letter, what it is that you are reconsidering or what was the mistake. you always want to include in your consideration your most updated taxes, which in this case should be 2019, right? What was the other thing? Information, so your taxes, as well as
if maybe it has
a copy of your, oh, and the form, signed form 4506T, which is an IRS form to be able to obtain your IRS transcripts.
Okay.
So those are the, the two requirements that they're suggesting you always include in your reconsideration request, and of course all of the information like your loan application, your information, contact information, and whatever, especially if there was an error made in your email or your bank account, what that is, what that error is.
Okay, so also having that explanation of an error and credit or whatever it might have been is good to have.
That is correct. We've had many individuals that were denied because of credit, and they could prove that their credit before COVID-19, was within the wheel of what SBA approves, and they were able to come back and say, before COVID happened, this is where my score or my credit score was always or has always been. But as a result, direct result of COVID-19, our credit took a hit, but we're able to prove that, right? And that's easily done if you have, you use like a Credit Karma or any other software through your credit card that monitors your credit. You could easily prove that, and it could be submitted for reconsideration as well.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good. So if their credit score was good before COVID, then and it got bad because of COVID, that wouldn't necessarily be a denial, because COVID caused the credit that was pretty good before to become bad. So they just need to show that, document that. It's good to know.
Correct. It's all about being able to prove that that was the case, right? COVID is that your credit was hit as a direct result of it.
Okay. Well, great. Well, that's some great information on the EIDL. Again, it's it can be confusing to businesses with so many loan products out there, and just they're trying to run their business, and they got all these challenges, and but they got to really make the time to do these applications and pursue these products that are out there. And I think this has been a great informational thing for you to give all the small businesses out there. So if you need to contact Thalia, especially for if you get denied, Thalia, you said you guys could maybe help them figure out what to do when they get denied.
Through the reconsideration program. Yes, absolutely. We can definitely guide them through what do they want to submit in there. Can't do it for them, but we can tell them what they should be, what they could be adding in there. But I did wanted to add, there's one question that we get a lot about EIDL, and is what can the funds be used for? Right. The program is a little bit more flexible in terms of how you can use the funds than the Paycheck Protection Program, right? Which you can use it for payroll. You can also use it for utilities or for lease, right? As well as the interest rate of your mortgage if you have a business mortgage. So that's pretty standard, that it's equal to what the PP has, right? Now, EIDL does have more flexibility. You can also pay your accounts payables with it, right? So if you're a restaurant, for example, and you pay for your supplies, for your food, for those napkins, all those things that you normally would pay for. PPP would allow you to use your funds for that, but EIDL does. So now you can also pay your vendors, right? The biggest question I've gotten about the fund or how to use the funds is, can I use the funds to relocate? In this case, you cannot use that unless it was you were right in front of the beach and now the beach is flooded and the land or the use of land is declared no longer use it for property value or something like that. It has to be like a local or state city mandate that you can no longer reopen in that spot. Otherwise, then yes, you would be able to use it for relocation, but that would not be the case for COVID.
Okay.
So relocation, it's not a proper use of funds for EIDL. And the second question that I get a lot as to how they can use the fund is, can I buy equipment with it? And the answer is no. So equipment is considered a expansion, right? To buy new equipment is considered an expansion of your business. Therefore, it doesn't qualify as disaster assistance loan. So you wouldn't want to use it for those purposes. Otherwise, you would be violating the terms of the loan, and then becomes fraud and everything else that goes with it. So if you have questions about the actual funds, how you can use it for, we do have the list that comes from the SOP or the guidelines of this loan that we can provide you, so that you have a clear knowledge of what you can use the funds and what you cannot use the funds for. But you may want to, there's more flexibility than PPP to use it. That's why we encourage you to use this loan. But then again, don't think that is just open for anything.
Right.
Yep.
Get to throw your summer party with staff, right? And those kind of things there. It's got to be business use stuff, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this loan is really meant to keep your business afloat on your like day-to-day operations.
Right.
Anything outside of that, really, it's not an applicable use of your funds, but we do have that specific list that gives you, so you can always have a backup and say, oh, it is on the list, it's not on the list. It just, makes it clear.
Okay. And you mentioned that list of approved items is that on the website? SBA's, the Emergency and Injury Disaster Loan website is there?
It is, you just have to find it. It is under the SOP, which is guidelines of the rules of the loan. So it is under the SOP, which is public knowledge, but it's not as easy to get to on the website. We can always send it to you if you have a question.
Okay, great. That's good to know. So,
Yeah.
if anyone needs to contact you, Thalia, they can call your office number, which is back here at 614-427-0407. And then I also have your email back here. It's a little long, but Thalia.Amador Lastra at SBA.gov. And we'll also put the information for you, Thalia, in the video description for any clients to reach out to you, businesses to reach out to you. So we thank you very much for your time today, Thalia. This has been great. Again, it can be a challenging when you're in business to try to navigate all these things, and I think you made it real easy for businesses to know what to do with the EIDL loan. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions, or any businesses that have any questions about it, we always encourage, go to us. This is why we're here for. Anything we can give you clarification. We may not be able to look at your loan because we don't have access, but we can always clarify some of those questions that, they may not know.
Yeah, and and really the SBA, especially the Columbus office, they're great, a great group of folks, and they're here to help small businesses. And they advocate for you, like you just said, Thalia. So, I know us at the SBDC, we appreciate, you know, having you guys there and stuff. And so once again, we want to thank you for being on the Progress Not Panic video series today. And I'm sure we're going to have you back for future videos. So thanks once again.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. We're always here for the small businesses, so thank you, Ben.